Hi my loves, welcome back to the Starscartel channel. If you don't know, I am Star. The message I heard is, I have no purpose in standing right here in front of you. The scripture comes from Matthew 14:34. After making the crossing, they reached the shore at Gennesaret, and when the men of that place recognized him, they spread the word throughout the region. People brought him all the afflicted, with the plea that he let them do no more than touch the tassel of his cloak. As many as touched it were fully restored to health. So here's the message for someone. You are in need of restoration. You are waiting on God to restore you. You are waiting on God to vindicate you. God says this is not a matter where you... how do I say it? Like, you don't have to be in a certain spot in order for you to receive your restoration. You don't have to be in a certain, it's like you don't have to be in a certain place. You don't have to be around a certain person. You don't have to be connected to a certain person. It's not a case where you have to go through a certain person. Like if you're waiting on restoration of a job, it's not specific that you are going to work at a certain place and hold a certain position. If you are waiting on a car, it's not necessary that you are going to get this car from the last person you got your car from, or that you are going to need any assistance with that. God is saying that this is not a case where you have to do things a certain way. If you're looking for a place to stay, you're looking for an apartment or a house, God says it's not a promise that you have to specifically go to a certain kind of apartment complex. It's not a situation where you have to stay on a certain side of town. God is saying that what he has for you, it is not a sense where it has to be something. It doesn't have to be that. You never know. Like, I just feel like God is saying for somebody that you need to think outside the box. And if you are thinking outside, maybe there are others that are thinking that you have to have something specific. God is saying what he has for you is not a specific thing. It doesn't have to be a specific way, and it doesn't have to come to you in a specific way. God is saying that you are not in a position to where you're going to have to be how do I say it? Like, you're not going to have to go through a specific person to get something. There is nobody that is standing as a gatekeeper for your blessings. There is nobody that is going to hold, like they have this golden seal of approval, and they are the only one that you can go through to get this thing. There is not that kind of case. God says that he is not what he has for you is for you regardless to who you come there with, regardless to who calls the office, regardless to who else is working there, regardless to who is giving you a reference, regardless to who is batting for you, who is who's fighting for you, because the person that is fighting for you is God. Anytime you are rejected from something, accept that rejection as a blessing. Accept the rejection as a blessing. It may very well have not been good for you. You may very well have been buying the same cars from the same person for years, and you didn't even realize this person has been selling you junk cars for a ridiculous price, and you could have got the exact same car for way cheaper. It could be a situation where you have always worked at a certain place and you always held a certain position, and you didn't even realize the place that you were working at was not paying you as much as you should be getting paid. Everybody else is getting paid $15, $16, $20 an hour, and they're laughing at you because they know that the company is only paying you $10. God says, if any case, any sense, any matter where you are rejected from something, accept it and keep it pushing. You don't have to cry about it. You don't have to go out your way to prove to them that you deserve it. You don't have to be knocking anything over to get to this thing. God says what he has for you, it is not coming from a specific place. It's not coming from a specific person. It's not going to be attached to a specific company. The only thing that the only person that this is attached to is God. And that's it. God says that this is a miracle for somebody. What God has for you is a miracle. God is going to bless you with something greater than what you were seeking out in the first place. What you are about to receive is bigger than what you thought it was, what you think it is, and like all of that. God says your blessing is greater than what you think, than what you're expecting. So don't feel as though you have to go about it a certain way. There may be a reason why God is telling you to do it alone. There may be a reason as to why God is saying that you have to find it on your own and you have to do this on your own. Whatever it is, I just feel like God is saying for someone, just because you don't have anyone holding your hand through the process doesn't mean that the process won't be successful. Just because you have to separate from a certain coworker and you won't be able to work for a certain boss does not mean that you will not be able to achieve your goal and you won't be able to achieve your dreams. Or it's just now all of a sudden you're not going to be able to do the job that you feel as though you were called to do. God says what you are called to do, you are going to do it, and there's nothing that is going to stop you from being able to do that thing. That's the message. God says you will receive full restoration wherever you are. You will receive full restoration however it comes. It doesn't have to be in a certain place. It may not even be in a certain city. It may not even be in a certain state. Like God is saying, your restoration is going to come to you regardless of how he gives it, but it's coming. But it's coming. God says it's coming. And this is not a situation, for anybody that is saying they want something specific. God knows what you want. God knows the desires of your heart. And don't you think for a second that our God, our Father, is not wanting to and wishing and desiring to give us the things that we too want. Whatever it is that God has for you, it is specifically not only what you need, but also what you want. You are going to realize once he gives you this thing that you love it more than you would have loved what you were thinking about, what you had in mind in the first place. And that's the message. Thank you guys for watching. Be sure to like, share, and subscribe.